All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, it is time to go over some ST22. That's right, we've got some blue Portgas Ace and Edward Newgate to go over today. This video will work more as like a introduction to what we're going to be seeing in ST22, like breaking down the set, and I've got some games lined up for us. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go and break down the video real quick. First up, we're going to head over to the deck list, check it out. And in that time period, we're going to cover all the cards that are coming out in ST22 that I'm aware of, all the ones that are on the sim. I think that's everything. We'll be going over each one of those cards individually, and then we'll break down the deck list I'm going to bring in today's video. After that, we're going to head over to the sim, and we got 5 games to go over on the sim using this new deck. And then we'll finish out the video by me kind of wrapping things up and tell you guys what I think from there, and which direction I will probably be building the deck going forward. Okay, so can't wait to get into this video. I'll have everything timestamped in the general description as usual, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that down in the comment section below. And if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to ask those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. One more thing I want to mention before we, really launch into this video is we will be streaming tonight. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. So be sure to stop by and check that out if you've got some free time. Come hang out. Okay, now let's do this, guys. Let's get into the video. First things first, we have to go over these new cards, right? We actually have quite a few cards to talk about here. How do I gotta get this? There we go. I was gonna say I gotta get this later screen off here. And we will start off with the leader. So first up, 5,000 power, 5 life, mono blue leader. This is ST22 coming out, all right? I don't know the exact date when this comes out, but it looks like they have all the new cards now in the sim, or at least a majority of them if this isn't literally every single new card coming out in ST22. The leader is 5,000 power, 5 life, mono blue, okay? And even though it is a dual leader, it's Portgas Ace and Edward Newgate, they're just one attribute, which is special, right? Sometimes when we see the different, let me bring up Zoro and Sanji real quick. So every now and then, notice with this leader, this is a dual leader Zoro and Sanji from ST12, and notice the attribute at the top right corner next to the 5,000. That is a slash and strike leader. But in the case of Newgate, it's just special. So I guess they're both special attribute users in general. So that was easy enough to put into the card. Next up is the effect here. Oh, and this is a 4 Emperors Whitebeard Pirates type leader. The effect is activate main once per turn. You may reveal 1 card with a type including Whitebeard Pirates from your hand. So you're going to reveal a card with Whitebeard Pirates from your hand, and then look at what you do after that. Draw 1 card and add the revealed card to the top of your deck, okay? So you're going to reveal the card. Let's just say in this case you reveal this 5-cost ace, right? You're going to reveal this card, then you're going to draw a card. That goes to your hand, and then that card you revealed is going to go right in the place of the card you just drew on top of your deck. So it's a very interesting effect. It's not... It's basically just a cycle, right? It's just a card that's going to allow you to cycle. However, it does allow you to set up for a card like this 5-cost ace. In the situation I just said, we wouldn't want to put this ace on top. But if we have this ace in hand and then a 4-cost or lower Whitebeard Pirates character in hand, like Atmos, for example, we'd be able to reveal Atmos with our leader effect, put that on top of our life, I messed that up. Reveal that card, draw a card, and put the Atmos we just revealed on top of our deck. And then we could play out a card like Ace, and now we know what the card is on top. It would be this Atmos, and you could do things from there. So it's a very interesting leader effect, that's for sure. But it's really just a fancy cycle that allows for some tricks within the blue Whitebeard Pirates package. Now, let's go ahead and break down the cards that have been revealed. I think this is all of them. Someone correct me in the comment section down below if I'm off on that. But we're going to walk through each one of the new ST22 cards that have been revealed and that are in the sim. And then we're going to break down the deck list that I'm running. So the leader, we just went over that. Next up is Izo. This is probably one of the best new cards in this set. It is a searcher, and this searcher is incredible because it also allows you to cycle. Check this out. It's a 1-cost, 0 power, 1k counter Izo. And it has on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 card with a type including Whitebeard Pirates, other than Izo, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, very standard searcher, right? So top 5 search for anything other than Izo, Whitebeard Pirates, and then put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Then it has an on opponent's attack. So whenever your opponent gets to attack or goes to attack into you, check out this effect. You may trash this character, so it goes to your trash, draw one card and place one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so it ends up being a cycle. So not only is this a 1-cost card with a 1K counter, by the way, so it's a 1-cost card, top 5 search, grab the card we need, and then when they attack for the first time, I can trash this card, draw another card, and then put a card on the bottom of my deck. So cycles a card. This is an incredible searcher, very, very strong, and of course it's Whitebeard Pirates and all the stuff we need. Next up is I really wish they had the SR right next to this. Okay, it's right here. We'll go over. We'll just go in order that it has on the sim here, but I wish we could have gone over the SRs first just to get that out of the way. But next up we have Edward Newgate. It's a 9-cost, 10,000 power character with double attack, and on play, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card has Whitebeard Pirates, draw 2. Really, really powerful. Next up is Elmi. This is just a 3-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter vanilla character for Whitebeard Pirates. It's a Whitebeard Pirates ally, but understand how EZO is worded. It says with types including Whitebeard Pirates in quotations, so you would be able to search this card up if you needed to with this searcher. Next up is Kazuki Odin. Okay, so Kazuki Odin is the other SR in this deck. It's in this starter deck, because remember, there's usually 2 SRs in each starter deck. The first one was Ezo, and now the second one is Odin. It's a 7-cost, 8,000 power character that has, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead trash 2 cards from your hand. Interesting. Did y'all catch anything very, very special about that? That is not a once per turn, first of all. That's the most important factor. So every time they go to remove this character, if this character would be removed from the field, so bounce to hand, bottom deck, trashed, KO'd, whatever, okay, by an effect, not in battle. You can't save him from battle with this effect, but any type of effect trying to remove him, there's no limitation. You can just keep trashing cards from your hand, well, 2 cards from your hand in order to do that. That's the first thing. The second thing is you don't have to trash Whitebeard Pirates type cards for this effect. So again, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead trash 2 cards from your hand. Not 2 Whitebeard Pirates cards, not once per turn. This card's incredible. This is a 7-cost, 8,000 power character that can really stick around. I really like this card. Okay, the Activate main is also very strong. Activate main, once per turn, you may rest 3 cards and return one of your other characters to your hand and set this character as active. It's like, oh man, that's a real bummer that we have to return a card to our hand. Well, remember the card we just looked at. This is why I wish they were a little bit closer when I was talking about that. Okay, I guess we'll just play this card out, right? Do a search, and then we'll pay 3 and return a card to our hand. Okay, I'll just return the searcher, replay it after that if I need to. You guys see what's going on there? Very, very powerful character here, and it has a lot of synergy with how blue operates in general. Big fan of this card, very strong. Next up is Jozu, 7-cost, 8,000 power, 1K counter. On play, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is a Whitebeard Pirates card, draw 2, trash 1. We're seeing a lot of card drawn here, guys. Look at this. So searcher, of course. On play, draw 2. On play, draw 2, trash 1. This card has a counter and everything. And a 7-cost 8K, that's a big character, guys. That's very big. Solid card here. Next up is Squard. So I don't know if this is proper, but I think, so it's a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 2K counter, it says. But in the sim, it's operating as a 1K counter currently. At the time you're recording this, when I was doing my testing, this was acting as a 1K counter, not a 2K counter like it says on the card. So does anyone have any confirmation on that? Please say something in the comment section below. Again, for me on the sim, this was acting as a 1K counter instead of what it says printed there as a 2K counter. Should it be a 1K or should it be a 2K? If anyone knows in the comment section, please say something. Now, the Activate main is once per turn, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it has Whitebeard Pirates in its types, attach up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or character. Great effect. It's a nice way for Dawn manipulation within blue. Of course, if you're building this deck properly and if you're using the leader properly, you will pretty much always be able to get this activation off to reveal your top card and be a Whitebeard Pirates type where you can add a Rested Dawn to your leader or character. Okay? Next up, 2-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter vanilla character here called the DeCalvin Brothers. Not much to talk about there. Then we have, okay, now we have a really nice card here in the 1-cost 1,000 power blocker Vista. It's just a 1-cost 1K count, 1-cost 1,000 power vanilla blocker is what I'd call this. Because remember, guys, this is something we've seen before. Like, let me just go bring up Trafalgar Law. So there's like the 1-cost 1,000 power blocker Trafalgar Law in blue. There's the red one as well, right? The 1-cost 1,000 power blocker Chopper. And then there's even the beige. Let me go to the beige now. Okay, looks like this, 1-cost 1,000 power blocker. So I would just probably call this a, I would call the 1-cost 1,000 power blocker a vanilla blocker in this game. That's just what I can expect for a 1-cost card that has blocker on it. Well, that means it probably won't have a counter, and that means it will probably have only 1,000 power. So very nice utility card. Remember what we were just looking at in here with the with this Kazuki Odin card. It will be really nice. It will be really beneficial in this deck to have some very low-cost characters to be able to return back to hand with cards like this Kazuki Odin, or a card we're going to look at in a minute here. Let me see in the I put in the deck list, like Jozu. We're going to want to be able to bounce back some of these low-cost characters to our hand to return them to the field very cheap and get more value. And this Vista is a really nice utility spot there. Next up is Portgas the Ace. This is a 5-cost 6,000 power 2K counter vanilla. Very nice. Then we have Whitey Bay. Whitey Bay is a 1-cost 1,000 power 2K counter with a your turn on play, reveal 2 cards with a type including Whitebeard Pirates from your hand, and then give up to one of your leaders with a type including Whitebeard Pirates plus 2,000 power during this turn. This is just a nice solid quality 2K counter. You can give up to one of your leaders with a type including Whitebeard Pirates plus 2,000 power during this turn just by revealing 2 cards. So really, you're paying 1 to get plus 2,000 powers worth. I would not use that very often. That's all I can say. However, it does have synergy with what we were just talking about. If you need to bounce a card back to hand like Jozu, or if you have to bounce a card back to your hand with a card like Kazuki Odin, well, this is a nice card to do that. I'll play this out for 1, give my leader plus 2,000, because it can only give up to one of your, give up to one of your leaders with a type including Whitebeard Pirates plus 2,000 power during this turn. So I'll play it out, plus 2,000 to my leader for only 1 Dawn, and then I'll play out something like Jozu, or I'll use the effect on Odin, pull back the card back to my hand, now I have the 2K counter back to hand, and I can go from there. So really nice stuff. Next up is this Marco. This is a 4-cost 5,000 power 1K counter Marco. It has once per turn, if this character would be KO'd by your opponent's effects, instead you may trash 1 card from your hand. So this is just like Odin, but a much smaller version, and it has a counter, of course, so it's just a weaker version compared to this like SR statted no counter character here. But the idea is this one's only once per turn, by the way, and it can only prevent a KO by trashing 1 card. So still very strong, but at the same time, you know, it's just, like I said, it's almost like a miniature version of what we're trying to do with this Odin card, but this one has a 1K counter, and it's a 4-cost card, something we could potentially cheat out with this 5-cost. Now, when attacking, reveal the top card of your deck. If it has Whitebeard Pirates in its types, give this character plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it will be like a 4-cost 6K when it starts swinging, and then it will stay that way until the end of your opponent's next turn. So he will be a 6K even on your opponent's turn, and it has the KO prevention from effects. You know, pretty good stuff here all around. But notice it's not in my list. We'll talk about that more in a minute, hopefully if I don't forget. Now we got a 5-cost 7,000 power 1K counter vanilla Little Oars Jr. Very nice, and a 4-cost 6,000 power 1K counter vanilla AO as well. So just some stuff to fill out the deck list, right? Just some vanilla cards to fill it out. Okay, next up we got some events here. So we have I Am Whitebeard. This is a really big event. Again, this is another card you'll notice that's not in my deck list, but check it out. It's an 8-cost main. If your leader has Whitebeard Pirate, has the Whitebeard Pirates type, play up to 1 Edward Newgate from your hand, then you may add the top or bottom card of your life cards into your hand, and if you did, give up to one of your leaders plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. This is a lot going on here. It's not that it's a bad effect, that's for sure. It's not a bad effect at all, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. Yes, it can cheat out something very big like this 9-cost Newgate, or another 10-cost card I should bring up real quick. Let me bring up Newgate here. There's a 10-cost card that came out back in OP08. I believe it would be able to play this out, right? It would be able to play out this big character here, but in general, this isn't a card that I really like that much. It's a 10 cost, 12k on play if your leader type includes Whitebeard Pirates, and you have 2 or less life cards until the end of your opponent's next turn. All of your opponent's characters cannot attack unless they first discard 2 cards from their hand. So, again, I'm not a huge fan of like trying to cheat something like that out with this effect. The biggest character I would even try to cheat out would be this Edward Newgate, but it's just a 9 cost anyway. It's 1 Dawn more. And I guess there's some upside. You could potentially like take your own life with this card a little bit, like take life cards to buff your leader and stuff like that. But again, I wasn't feeling this card. I'm sure I will try it in the future, especially if, you know, every now and then down in the comment section, guys, please tell me what y'all think in the comment section below about anything you agree with or disagree with. Just please be nice. Every now and then people will convince me like, man, you got to try out this card with this and this and do this and do that and do this. And I'm like, okay, some of those are pretty cool ideas every now and then. I can't always do every single thing people say, of course, but every now and then someone will have a pretty compelling case for like a specific card or whatever. And then I end up trying it in the next video. That might be the case with this card, but as is, this looks like one heck of a brick in my hand. Because if I don't have a Newgate in my hand, this is just 8 Dawn for what, right? It doesn't have a trigger. I am just not a fan of this card. I wish they at least gave it a trigger, like give it like a trigger, draw 1, so it's not just a total dead card coming from your life. Not a fan. Now, this card I am a fan of. This is a 1 cost counter. Reveal the top card of your deck. If that card has Whitebeard Pirates in its types, give up to 1 of your leaders or characters, plus 4,000 power during this battle. Trigger, draw 1. This is an excellent 1 cost counter here. It's basically a 1 cost 4K with trigger, draw 1 card. Outstanding. Huge fan of this card. Last but not least, we have Fire Fist. Fire Fist is a 5 cost main. You may reveal 2 cards with that have Whitebeard Pirates in the types. Draw 1 card and place up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or lower to the bottom of its owner's deck. Okay, and then trigger, return up to 1 cost 3 or lower character to its owner's hand. It's a searchable 5 cost answer to a 5 cost card. I do like that. I think that's fine in here. I wish we had something better that was also searchable, but I think this card is just fine for what it's trying to do for now. Again, it's 5 cost. You're going to give them 2 cards, you know, knowledge in your hand. But if you do things, what I noticed when I started getting better at running this leader after putting it through through testing, I noticed if I end up showing my opponent only cards I've searched up with EZO, well, they're not getting any knowledge. So in other words, like say, let's just as an example, let's say, okay, with EZO early on, not this EZO, I meant to say this one. Like say turn 1, I play out this EZO and I do a top 5 search, and just for the sake of this, let's say that I grab the 9 cost, where did he go? The 9 cost Newgate. It was right next to it. So, okay. Say I reveal this card, the 9 cost Newgate, in my opening like turn 1 play with EZO. Well, now I know in my mind, okay, I'm just going to keep revealing this card over and over and over and over again. Literally on the play, on turn 1 with 1 Dawn going first, I will play out this EZO, revealing this Newgate. Let's just pretend I found it for this example, for this hypothetical. I show you the Newgate, and then I go, okay, now I'm going to use my leader effect. Show you the Newgate again. I'm going to put the Newgate on top of my deck, and I'm going to draw the first card. Well, excuse me, I'm going to draw a card first, and then put the Newgate on top of my deck. Okay, my turn. Guess what I drew for the turn? It's a Newgate, right? Okay, leader effect again. Revealing the Newgate, drawing a card, putting the Newgate back on top, just constantly doing that. And in the case of this card right here, where I have to reveal 2 cards, okay, well, guess what card I'm going to reveal before I use my leader effect this time? That's right, the Newgate, and maybe one other card that I searched up, or one other card that he might expect that I have, or even a card that's just a dead card in hand. I'm not going to play this game. So what ended up happening is I thought like revealing all these cards as information was going to be like a really, really bad thing for this deck, but it ended up not being too bad at all, especially if I'm just revealing something that my opponent already knows I have with an EZO, and then just one other card I choose to show him for the turn. Like I might even telegraph something that I'm not even going to do, or even bluff him saying like, hey, I'm going to reveal a Jozu. What are you going to play next turn? Like going into a 6 Dawn turn, right? So let's just pretend for this example like they're going into a 5 or 6 Dawn turn. Hey, revealing Jozu. I'm going to draw a card now and put that on top of my deck. Your turn, you know what I mean? A passing turn like that, you know, doing what you have to do. You can play some real big mind games with your opponent. I actually ended up really liking this effect and the effect of the, like, Atmos, you know, you have to reveal 2 Whitebeard cards, and then same thing with Fire Fist. A lot of cool stuff going on there. Okay, so that's all the new cards that we have available for ST22. That was just a quick little miniature set breakdown for ST22. Now, going over my list, and understand, this is just my first run through with the list. I'm not saying this is the most optimal deck list or anything like that. This is just my first impression of the deck and the first direction I went with it. And I did make this deck up completely by myself. I did not use any other deck that I saw somewhere else. I just decided, okay, I'm going to read through all these Whitebeard cards. I literally went like this, guys. I went, okay, Whitebeard Pirates, right? And I went through all these cards and said, okay, this is what I want to try to do. The only card in here that is not Whitebeard Pirates is a single one of 9-cost blue Sanji. Now, you could make the argument right away, like, hey, well, why not just run the new 8-cost event there? And you absolutely can, especially if you're trying to play on a budget. And then you could go a little more Whitebeard, Edward Newgate heavy in the deck list. So that's about it for the cards that are not already included in here, so, that are not Whitebeard Pirates. Now I'm going to run through the rest of the list, and we'll talk about the cards. Running 2 of the 5-cost blocker Ace, running 4 of the 4-cost Atmos, 4 of the 4-cost Kingdu. This is mainly just a 2K counter. 3 Jozu, 2 Speed Jill. I'm a big fan of this card with another card we're going to talk about in a minute, but getting rushed like that and filling out the board, very solid card. I'll probably be increasing this number by the end of the video today. And we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. So running 2 Speed Jill, 2 Namule, just a solid utility blocker here. Running 4 of the 5-cost Ace that can cheat out a 4-cost or lower Whitebeard Pirate cards, Whitebeard Pirates type card from the top of your deck. Running 4 of the when attacking Searcher Ezos. Running 4 of the 1-cost Searcher Ezo. Using 2 of the new 9-cost Whitebeard or Newgate. Running 2 of the 7-cost Kazuki Odin. 2 7-cost Jozus, running 4 Squard. And again, this card was a little bit misleading because it says 2K counter on here, so I thought my 2K counter spot was really good at like 4 Kingdu, 4 Squard, and 4 Whitey Bay, but this ended up only working as a 1K counter on the sim. I don't know if it's an issue with the sim or an issue with the way the card's printed here. I have no idea. We'll have to check into that. Running 1 Vista. I will probably be increasing that number as well by the end. And then running 4 Whitey Bay, 2 of the 1-cost 4K counter, take back what you just said, and then 3 Fire Fist, the 5-cost event where you reveal 2 Whitebeard Pirates, and then bottom deck one of your opponent's characters, and you do draw a card, by the way. I almost forgot to mention that. This card also draws a card, very solid form of removal. Okay, and that's it, guys. That's the deck list. Let me go through it real quickly. Like I said, I'm running 1 of these Sanjis. This blocker is really just meant to help fix my hand a little bit when to help fix my hand a little bit when necessary. Atmos here, running 4 of these. This card I really like because it helps me just bounce cards out of the way. We already know how strong Trafalgar Law is, right? We already know how strong this card right here is in Dofi, in Blue Doflamingo. Well, this is our version of that. I'm not saying it's as good because, honestly, Trafalgar Law is still better than that card because you don't have to give up any hand knowledge. You just get to return one of your 1-cost, characters back to your hand to reuse later with this effect where you can even bounce the Trafalgar Law back to your hand and bounce their character out of the way. It's absolutely incredible stuff going on there. So we're running 4 Atmos. Let me go back to the Whitebeard stuff. Okay. Running 4 Kingdu. So this is just a 2K counter, but this is a nice option if you don't have any better 4-cost option in your hand like Speed Jill or Atmos, and you're trying to play out a Portgas Ace the following turn on tempo or something like that. You can use this Kingdu to set up like that because he also can reveal 2 cards, and then this character gets plus 2,000 power until the end of your turn. It's like a last option if you don't have a better target to cheat out with this 5-cost Ace that we'll talk about in a minute. But otherwise, this Kingdu is a solid 2K counter. Running 3 Jozu. Jozu is incredible, especially when you can have the curve of play out the Atmos, bounce a character next turn. If you need to bounce, swing with the Atmos first, then play out the Jozu, return the Atmos, and you can bounce something later. Get the after you get the attack in. There's a lot of stuff you can do there. But yeah, the Atmos into Jozu curve going second, very very solid. Running 2 of these Speed Jill. Speed Jill says reveal the top card of your deck and then place on the top or bottom of your deck. If that card had Whitebeard Pirates included in its types, this character gains Rush. So again, with this deck being all but 1 card, Whitebeard Pirates, which is probably the way you're going to want to run this deck, maybe, I think, well, it depends on how you build it. Well, I'll have to see how other people build this leader, but with the way that I'm running it kind of as like more of a Bruiser style deck, this Speed Jill is incredible, and if you're running enough Whitebeard Pirates cards in your deck, the chances of you whiffing on the top, the top card, this is the only whiff that I have. So if here's the idea behind that. If I play out the Speed Jill and say it does reveal Sanji, okay, well, I'm not exactly upset about that either, right? I'm not exactly upset because it means, okay, now I'm going to leave that card on top because that's my one of in the deck. And if I haven't used my leader effect yet, guess what that means? I can then set up, you know, for some, well, I guess I wouldn't be able to do that turn because of playing out the Speed Jill. That would cost 4, but you guys get the idea. It would allow me to do some setup. Namuel. This card here is just a incredible utility blocker. 3 cost 2k, 1k counter blocker. It is, of course, Whitebeard Pirates. On play, draw 2, then return 2 cards from your hand to the top or the bottom of your deck in any order. Same exact thing as this 5 cost Ace, where you do the top 2. You know, draw 2 cards, then put 2 cards on the top or bottom of your deck, and they're both blockers. This is a nice odd curve we have here. You know, turn 1, we'll be able to play out the Searcher here, the 1 cost Ezo. Turn 2, Namuel, fix our hand. Turn 3, play out this Ace, or do like some type of play on the board where you really fill out the board here by playing out Portgas the Ace, the 5 cost 6k that fills out the board. So there's a lot of decent options there, and that's one thing I want to mention. Is this deck actually had a very solid going first or second curve. It was actually fine going both ways, and we'll talk more about that as we're getting into the games. But yeah, we have Namuel, then we have this Ace. So let me spend some time on this. The reason I'm running 4 of these is I'm actually, the way that I built this deck, you'll have to show me, guys, or tell me what y'all think in the comment section below how you built the leader. I was building this leader as more of like a tanky bruiser style, where it's like, okay, I just want to attack in every single turn, and then I want to get as much value from these cards on the board as I can. I want to play out this 5 cost Ace here, and I want to cheat out like an Atmos that bounces their character off the board, or play out a Speed Jill to go super aggressive, or even play out this Ezo so I can start drawing more cards next turn. I'm just trying to kind of flood the board out, and that's why I'm running this Portgas the Ace and this Sanji. And that's a card that I might end up going to 2 of later, or maybe even 3 of in the future, is going up this Sanji, because I would love to cheat out any of these 6 cards here. We're going to go, well, these 3 cards, 2 of each of these. I would love to be able to play out more cards with the Sanji, maybe, you know, go up a Newgate or go up a Kazuki Odin. But the Jozu, Odin, and Newgate, these were absolutely incredible on the board. When they hit the board, they're monsters. Now, this card I don't think I got to use too much, so maybe there might be some room to move this card around, maybe move this out for the 9 cost or the other 7 cost. There's some options there, but I want to flood the board, right? I'm trying to fill out the board as blue while drawing cards and establishing relevant bodies along the way. And this Ace was really good at that. Next up is Ezo. This came out back in OP09 now. It's a 3 cost 4k 1k counter when attacking top 5 search for a Land of Wano or Whitebeard Pirates card. You add 1 of them to your hand and then the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and then you discard a card. So it's really just a top 5 card that you draw, and then you cycle 1. You see what I'm saying? So you'll do a top 5 search, grab the card you want, the remaining cards go to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then you will actually trash a card from your hand to replace the card you just drew. Right, so it's kind of like a really fancy cycle, and it's a 3 cost 4k, so you can attach 1 Dawn and start smashing in. Good stuff here. We already spent some time talking about Ezo. This is just an incredible searcher. I was using it a little too frequently, the on opponent's attack, when I was doing the testing, where it's like, okay, yep, I'm just going to trash this card and cash in the value on it right away to get another card cycled through to fix my hand a little bit. But I think it's actually smarter to keep this card on the board if you can, depending on the matchup. It always depends on the matchup. But if I can return this card back to my hand with something like a Jozu effect or something like this Kazuki Odin's effect, then this card gets even more value. So very, very powerful new searcher for Whitebeard Pirates here in blue. We talked about Edward Newgate. So these cards, most of these other cards here now we've talked about. I'm just going to go over them real quickly. This guy's just an absolute beater on the field. 9 cost 10k. Attach 1 Dawn, you're swinging for 11. Remember how that works, guys. If you're attacking into a 5,000 power leader, which is pretty standard in this game, if you're swinging 11 into 5, that is going to be a bare minimum of 4 cards to counter out. Right, if they don't have any Dawn open for special events. But if they have no Dawn open, swinging for 10 might be 3 2k counters, which is still brutal, right? That's still absolutely brutal. But if you swing for 1 more Dawn, they have to give you at minimum 4 cards. 2k, 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 1k. And if they can't counter out, guess what? Double attack. And when you play him, he replaces himself and draws another card. This is a very, very strong card. I was a big fan of this one. Also, this Odin, against any deck running some sort of like, removal, this card just sticks, okay? So make sure you have cards you can trash from your hand to save him, but this is a really powerful character here. 7 cost 8k that can attack twice, activate main, once per turn. You may rest 3 of your Dawn cards and return 1 of your characters to your hand. Set this character as active. We'll take it every time. Then we have Jozu here. A nice way to fix your hand a little bit, draw 2, trash 1. And it's a 7 cost 8k with a 1k counter, searchable. Squad, like I said, even if this is just supposed to be a 1k counter, I think I'd probably still run this in the deck because it allows me to get a little bit more it allows me to get some more relevant attacks off. Let me just say that. Like swinging 5 versus 6 is actually a big deal because let's just say you're going into red, purple, Luffy. Well, if I can't attach 1 Dawn for free, I probably can't even do my full turn and attack into my opponent's leader. Well, using Squad, I actually can do that. And I'm already revealing the card to my opponent anyway with the card I'm putting back with my leader effect. So revealing it one more time from the top of my deck now, that's not really a big deal. And then I attach the Dawn to my leader and get to swing for 6. Or say I'm playing against Shanks. Shanks, you can get this is going to help into the Shanks matchup. In the future, playing against green, purple, Luffy, they get to 6,000 power very easily. Blue, purple, Luffy in the distant future for us. Well, I shouldn't even say distant future. Probably about 2 months away from us, 2 or 3 months away from the West right now is OP11, where there's going to be another 6,000 power leader, blue, purple, Luffy, having the ability to attach a Dawn to your leader for free every turn. That is a big deal, and it really hurts them. This is just a great utility blocker, like we said. 2k counter Whitey Bay, another good card to pull back with your effects like Atmos, or excuse me, not Atmos, Jozu and Odin. The 4k counter event, and the removal event. Okay, that's it. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's see what this deck can do. We got some games on the sim. Let me go full screen. Let me move my my camera back to where it's supposed to be at. Good enough. I always mess around with that for too long. People yell at me for that. I know, guys. I'm sorry. All right, so speed is on 2x. Volume's off. Here we go. First game up is going to be against Red Shanks. I tried to get some pretty good matchups for you guys today. Let me read it to you while we're waiting on this game to start. I'm doing a top 5 search right now with the Ezo. I grab a Jozu, and then I'm going to use my leader effect, put the Jozu, the card I just revealed, back on top of my deck so I can draw it next turn, and I get a card he doesn't know about anymore. Well, watch this. We're going to swing for 5. He's going to use his leader effect. We're going to play out a Namuel. Actually, we're going to put the Jozu on top of my deck first to do some card cycling. Then we're going to use the Namuel, and we're going to put 2 cards on the top or bottom of my deck. I put those 2 cards on the bottom of my deck. Now, the matchups I have for today, guys, we got Red Shanks, we got Blue Yellow Nami, Blackbeard, Purple Katakuri, and Lucci. Okay, so I tried to get some decent matchups to show off what the deck could do, and I still think there's plenty of room for improvement. All right, so we're going to play out the Atmos here. We're just going to bounce that card out of the way. We're going to swing for 6. Let's see what he chooses to do. He chooses to take it. Okay, we will take that. And I still have Jozu for next turn. Let's see what my opponent chooses to do here. They're going to swing for 7. They have 4 Dawn active. They're probably just going to play out the Lucky Root again. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so guess what? We're going to play out the Squad here. We are going to use the effect here, revealing the top card of my deck. Okay, I'm stumbling all over my words right now. Hear me out. I was trying to figure out the best way to do this. Watch this, guys. We're going to swing for 5, then swing for 6. Okay, I kind of messed up the ordering there. It is what it is. But that was a little bit of a blunder. So pause. Let's talk about what we should have done there. I think I should have done my leader effect first and then use Squad to give my opponent as little knowledge as possible. In fact, did I just completely forget to do my leader effect that turn, guys? I'm not sure. We got to go back real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I know. All right, here we go. So this is where they left off. We took the hit. We get a speed gel. They play out the Lucky Root, and we have 7 Dawn for the turn. Now, let's see what we choose to do. I play out the Squad. Now, right here, what I should have done is I should have used my leader effect first because I'm about to give my opponent, knowledge of the top of my deck, right? Because reveal the top card of your deck. And then if it's Whitebeard Pirates, we get to add a rest to Dawn. But hang on, we're not in any rush to do that. So what I should have done first here is added a card to the top of my deck using my leader effect and drawing a card. Now I know for a fact it's a Whitebeard Pirates card, by the way, because I would have placed it there myself. And then I can reveal the card I just revealed to them on top of my deck with Squad, where I get the Dawn wherever I want it. And I should have put it on my leader, by the way. I shouldn't even have swung with the Atmos. Okay? We'll talk about that in a second. So then what do I do next? Watch this, guys. Before I even do any attacking here, so watch right here. What I think I should have done was put a Dawn on my leader, and I'll explain that in a minute. Play out the Jozu, bounce the card. Now I could swing 6 with my leader, and then if he doesn't use the leader effect, I just won't swing at all. I'll just leave the Atmos active so he can't even attack into it for next turn. Now it's my opponent's 8 Dawn turn. The thing I would fear the most in this situation is, of course, a Rayleigh. You know, the 8-cost secret rare Rayleigh. Let's see if they have that. They're going to go 5. Okay, maybe they don't have it. They swing 5 into 5, and I'm going to counter out of that. They play out double Lucky Root. Okay, I'm not as upset about that play there. Let's see what they choose to do. I'm going to use my leader effect first this time. I reveal the 7-cost Jozu. I put that on the top of my deck, and I draw into a 9-cost Newgate. Very nice. That's actually really good. Okay. Now we're going to swing for 5. They actually block out, and they use the Lucky Root to get rid of my character. They just cleared up my board. Now, it's too bad that I didn't know that 9-cost Newgate was coming, right? Because I would have just used my Sanji to play that. But instead, what I did was my leader effect to put the Jozu on top of my life, because I was going to cheat that out with my Sanji, and it revealed that I had a Edward Newgate already on top of my life that I couldn't put back there this turn and do the play. We play out the Jozu here. We reveal a card. We revealed the top. Hang on, did I miss that? We revealed the top card of the deck, guys. Let me go back. All right, so I play out the Sanji, and I revealed the 1-cost event, and then I do a draw 2 trash one, and I end up, now I have a very strong hand and a very strong board. They play out a 10-cost Shanks. Seems good. That is a really powerful card right now, guys. That 10-cost Shanks is a nightmare for pretty much any deck that's trying to go tall. So we're going to swing for 5. They're going to leader effect. Now we're going to swing 7, swing 8. I've got to put the gas on right now, guys, because if he starts dropping these big boys on me, I'm just in trouble, right? I mean, it's just that simple. So right here, I'm going to use my leader effect. I'm going to put a card back on top of my deck just to see if I can draw it into any more 2Ks. My opponent's turn drops another one. You hate to see it. He's going to swing 12 into 7. I'm countering out because I have to go for lethal, guys. It's that simple. 5 into 5. I need to counter out of this just so I can survive one more turn, potentially, if he tries to go all in. So I counter out, even though I really did not want to. And now, guys, it is time to probably go pretty aggressive here, because I don't think I'm going to be able to take out one of those Shanks. I don't think I can take out a Shanks here. Okay, let's see what I choose to do here. I'm going to put that card on top of my life. Very nice. I got into another Newgate. So now I actually have the option to swing 5. He's probably going to leader effect. Yep. I'll swing 7, and then I'll swing 8. He counters out of that one. I'll swing 8 more. Or I'll swing 7, he countered out, swing 8, he takes that, and now I'm playing out a Newgate. This is going to let me draw 2 cards. Hey, we know it's going to be a Whitebeard Pirates card, right? Because we only had one Sanji, and that card got KO'd earlier, so I know for a fact I'm always going to hit now. They swing 12 into there. I use the cycle effect on my card, on the Ezo, and notice... All right, now watch this, guys. This was my first time, I think this was one of my first times playing the deck, if not literally my first time playing the deck. I go to counter out 2K with Squard, thinking, okay, I have plenty. Watch what happens, guys. I go Squard, and then into a 2K. I'm like, wait, what? What happened here? Why was I 2K, off like that? Come to find out, that card's only a 1K on the sim right now. Okay, so they're going to swing in for 6 with the Luffy. They're going to attach it on to their leader with the effect here. They're trying to go for lethal. It's not even going to be close. So I go ahead, now I can take the remaining attacks here, and as long as that Newgate gets through, they're in a lot of trouble, guys, and they only have 3 cards in hand. What I'm trying to say here, I swing for 11. Technically, I think I should have swung for 12, because if they have 2K, 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 they could have gone leader effect, 2K, 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 and then I'm just done. But at that rate, I think, actually, maybe I still would not be finished at that point, because I have a speed Jill in hand, so I could play that card out, and then swing for 5, and then swing for 7, and then swing for 9, and then I think I still probably would have had it. But hey, I'm pretty much saying to this guy, you do not have 2K, 2K, 2K in hand. There's absolutely no way. So I swing for 11 with double attack. He takes it. Now we're going to... Okay, pause. We were going to swing for 9 with Jozu, and then everything on our leader. Good game to my opponent. That was a tough one. Okay, so that was against Red Shanks. Now we got a game versus Blue-Yellow Nami. I don't know when this deck comes out, the new SC22 Ace Newgate starter deck, but I think it's sometime after OP... OP 11? I think it's after OP 11. Someone correct me if I'm off on that. But whatever the case is, I think, this deck will have to go against something like Blue-Yellow Nami. So I did want to include some OP 11 stuff in here. Okay, so they're going to swing in for 8. I'm going to cash in on both my... okay, so this is what I was talking about. Hang on. All right, so this is what I was talking about. I have a Jozu in my hand, and I decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and cash in on this right now, and I'm going to use both of the on-opponent's attack effects from the Ezos here and draw some cards, fix my hand a little bit more. I think I should have saved one on the board for my Jozu, so that was just, kind of like growing pains, right? That's me trying to learn the deck for the first time and seeing how the deck's supposed to run, but we did still get to cycle some cards. He's coming in for 8. We're going to go ahead and take this. Okay, well, they have no card on the board. I'm going to swing for 5. He's probably just going to trash a card and go plus 2,000 for the turn like Blue-Yellow Nami can do. And then we're going to play out a King Do, and we're going to put a card on top of our deck and go about things like this. I played out the King Do because I'm going to need a card to be able to return to my hand here. With the Jozu I just put on top of my deck. Okay, he decides to hit me with a pudding. I get the Jozu right back, though. I know that was just pure luck, but we got a Jozu back. So now I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see what he does. Okay, he's going to go ahead and play out the event there. I'm going to pull back the King Do and bounce back his Nami. If he wants to do that, or excuse me, his Pudding. If he wants to do that again, I'm not really upset about that, right? I'm going to counter out now. Let's see what he chooses to do. I think he does it twice, guys. So I think he does Kazuki Hiyori here. Maybe it's not this turn, but I think he ends up hitting me with a Pudding again later this game. Okay, so they played out the Hiyori, they set their top life card, and then they hit me with the Pudding again. So this is that was the turn I was thinking of. Okay, I mean, when I only have like 5 or 6 cards in hand, the Pudding doesn't really affect me at that point. I mean, it does technically mess up my plan, potentially, with this leader effect, but nothing I can't handle for the next turn. I can just set it up again. So there we go, guys. That's one of the main interactions I built into the deck, where I put a Speed Jill on top of my deck with my leader effect to cycle a card, and then I play out the 5-cost Ace, playing out the top card of my deck if it's a 4-cost or lower Whitebeard Pirates card, and then it revealed another Whitebeard Pirates card under it to swing for 5 with Rush. So I'm going to be able to swing, and notice this, my opponent left the Dawn active. They probably have another Gum Red Hawk. They should have just attached a Dawn to their leader, but they didn't know I was going to swing in with all these cards next turn. So now I'm going to swing for 5, 5, 7, and my opponent does not have a Dawn on their leader in order to give plus 2,000 for the turn. This turn's going to hurt them quite a bit, and we're going to follow up with an Amule. Okay, so swing 5, swing 7. They're down to 2 life. And now we are probably going to play out we could play out the Ezo as well. Actually, looking back, I kind of like playing out the Ezo here, but I'd rather be able to protect my board, and they did get a Satori trigger, it looks like. They're going to go 6 into 5. Here we go again. I tried to 2K counter out with a Squard, and I think that was when I finally realized, because I think this game was right after my Shanks game. I was like, wait a minute. Squard is not a 2K counter in the sim. So whatever the case is, that was a little bit of a blunder there because the card was misprinted, and I hadn't picked up on the problem yet. Okay, so now we're going to go 5 into 5. I love being in this situation. Now I get to attack into his board. Let's see what we choose to do here. We'll swing for 5. They're going to have to trash a card from hand to go plus 2K for the turn. We're going to swing for 7. Let's see what they choose to do. Okay, they're going to give me a 2K. Oh, okay, you're going to give me a 2K, huh? Well, now I think I might actually go for that Eustace Kid, guys. That changes everything. He gave me a 2K when he only had to give me a 1K. So that tells me I bet he's getting pretty low on counter power. I'm going to go 11 into 9, and I have a perfect 5 Dawn follow-up. Okay, so we play out this this blocker Ace. I'm going to put those 2 cards on the bottom of the deck. I think I probably... oh, then I use my leader effect. I was going to say, what's going on? I think I probably should have put that 7-cost Jozu down there. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, swing 7 into 7. I'm not going to let him have that. There's no way I'm letting him have that. And then he plays out a Nami. He's going to set his top card again of his deck. So now I think he knows only what the top card is, because the original Kazuki Hiyori we already attacked through whatever was on top back then. Okay, so we're going to swing in for 7. He's going to trash a card and do Flame Split. So now he's plus 8,000 for the turn. He is plus 3,000 for the turn. He is an 8,000 power leader for the entire turn now. We're going to push that card out of the way, and then we're going to probably just load everything on this on our leader here and just swing in for 9. Okay. He got a Denjiro. He's going to trash my top life card. But remember, I have a blocker on the field. I have 2 life. Okay, he's going to go 7 into 7. That's not happening. He's going to go 6 into 5. We'll take that. We didn't get anything special there. There's no reason to bounce back a 2K to his hand, right? And here we go. It's time to just go all out. We're going to swing in for 7. And I think I just have math here. Let's pause and talk about this. Swing 7 got 2 cards out of his hand. Now swing 7 is going to take a 3rd card out of his hand. Now swing 7 takes a 4th card. Now 7 takes a final card. Like, he would have to have exactly what he needs here, and that's without me using even a single Dawn, right? Or I guess that would have taken 2 Dawn with what I just said, but y'all get my point. He's in a very tough spot. And I'm going to keep taxing every card out of his hand. So now, let me explain how this is going to change, because I think my opponent is about to quit out here. Oh, no, excuse me. This is just calculated. Pause. So what I was going to say was I wanted to get every single card out of his hand for just attacking at first. Number 1, it plays around the trigger, right? So if he has a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger as his final card, like with a trigger, he will have to bottom deck a card, but then I can just swing everything in on something else. That's why I was hitting for nothing but 7s across the board there. Then, you know, last but not least, it's going to set me up for my final 2 attacks that I have to get through. I can line it up in this way and just swing in for 9. I still have all the Dawn available for me to make a backup play just in case if I have to, maybe swinging 9 into a Eustace Kid and trying to win through a blocker. I have no idea. You guys get the idea, though. We tried to do that, just getting every card out of his hand with what I had on the board and then just smashing through for lethal at the end. Good game to my opponent. Okay, now we got a game versus Blackbeard. Now we have a game versus Blackbeard. Speed 2x, volume's off. Here we go. How are we doing on time? Not too bad. Not too bad on time. Okay, they're gonna start off going first, playing out Lafitte. I do not remember who went first this game or who got to choose. I think the Blackbeard chose to go first, by the way. As crazy as that might sound, I think that was the case. I could be wrong, though. They're going to play out Lafitte here. They're going to do a search. That's a nice thing about having these one-cost cards, guys. These little one-cost cards, they help you battle into your opponent's board against something like Blackbeard. And who cares if I lose it? If he wants to attack into it, it works as a counter anyway. Okay. So right here, we're going to swing 3 into 1. We're not taking any chances. If he wants to get cheeky and do a 2K counter out of that, we're not going to take any chances. He's already using his leader effects to turn off my own play effects. Very smart of my opponent. Very smart. Okay, plays out Shiryu. He's going to pop the Namiel. He's going to go 5 into 2. He can have that. That card's not a big deal. And now we just have to try to get some board, right? We have to get so the funny part here is on my second turn, he used his leader effect to shut off what would have been my second turn, and then notice how low his hand size is right now, guys. He was going on my what was my third turn, my 6th on turn. He chose to not use his leader effect because he was going to go down to 3 cards. That's the how do you say it? That's the balance there. If Blackbeard's going to play out a bunch of characters for me to attack into, and he's going to use his leader effect, he's not drawing cards from his life to refill his hand as much. So that's something you have to really look out for if you're playing Blackbeard. So we're going to play out the Atmos, revealing 2 cards from hand. We're going to bounce this card back to his hand, and here we go. Okay, and I think the cards I revealed was the 2K counter Whitey Bay in one of my one-cost events here. And the idea, pause one more time. I'm sorry, we have to talk about one of the logic between, of me showing him a one-cost event. I have 2 in hand. So I'm showing him 1, and I'm going to use that one-cost event as soon as I can. So that way he thinks, okay, cool, he doesn't have that anymore. I can swing for certain numbers to get through attacks if needed, right? So that was the logic there on me showing him a 2K counter and this event here. Number 1, I'm just going to keep showing that 2K counter over and over again and putting into my deck and like cycling out cards in that way. But that one-cost event, I'm going to try to play tricks with him later with that. Okay, let's see what my opponent chooses to do here. Now, I will say this. Kazuki Odin, you can turn his effect off with a black hole with Blackbeard. So that's a little bit scary. We got to be careful with that, but we're probably just going to have to play it out anyway. Okay, he trashes the Shiryu. He establishes a Kuzan. I can't deal with that Kuzan with what I have here. I'm going to swing for 5. He takes it. I'm going to swing for 5 more. He 1K counters out. I'm going to play out Kazuki Odin. I'm going to show him the event this time to put into the top of my deck to see if he might try to mess up his math here a little bit. Okay, plays out a Van Augur. Now that's terrifying, right? Because he can -3 to the cost of my Kazuki Odin and hit me with a black hole, and then my Kazuki Odin's gone because he shuts off my effect and removes the character. Okay, he's going to swing for, there we go. So he swings in for 9. Okay, excuse me. The card that I showed him on top of my deck was the one-cost event. So right there, he swung 8 into 5, thinking, okay, this guy, this dummy, put his counter event on top of his deck. Now he can't even use it. And what did I do there, guys? I had another one in hand. I basically tricked him, and now I still have the other one, right? Because I put one on top of my deck, the one he thought I didn't have anymore in my hand, and I had the one in hand, and now I have another one. Okay, a little bit confusing. I know it's a little bit technical, but bear with me. All right, this guy's in trouble now. So I swing for 5 there. So the game's pretty much over at this point, right? So he just took a 5K hit. Okay, I could have gone for lethal there, I think, by using this Kazuki Odin here. But I decided, okay, instead I'm just going to keep establishing bigger bodies on the board here. I'm going to put down this card. It's the biggest body that I have. I'm going to push this, push one of these. I can't push the Sanji into my life, or into my deck, excuse me, with my leader effect, because it's not a Whitebeard Pirates. We're going to leave 1 Dawn active, for sure, for my event. And now, I don't know what he's going to do. Okay, he's going for that card, and he hits it with a finger pistol. So he did Van Augur, -6 to my Newgate, pop it with finger pistol. He's going to swing for 6. We're going to take that. But now we are going to get very aggressive here. I think, again, last turn, I think I had lethal. I think I actually should have gone for lethal last turn. But hey, now this turn, my opponent is in a lot of trouble. Okay, so we end up attacking in. They take it. Now we're going to swing for 10. They block. I'm going to play out a one-cost character. Okay, so I should have done that. Again, I'm getting used to it still. I could have used the Whitey Bay. Oh, no, I couldn't have used the Whitey Bay because black hole effect from the Blackbeard's leader. We were not able to use on play effects, but that's okay. We play out a one-cost character, pay 3, standard guy back up, pull back the card, and swing for 10 more. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Okay. That 7-cost Odin is a menace, guys. He is an absolute nuisance. Okay, we got 2 more games here. This is 1 versus Purple Katakuri. Speed is on 2x, volume is off, and here we go. They're going to start off with a Searcher. Very strong start here. I, unfortunately, can never get my Searcher turn 1 for some reason. I think I do actually draw it this game. As funny as that is, if I remember this game correctly, I think I draw into the turn 1 Searcher. No, a turn 1 blocker. I was going to say, I knew it was some type of 1-cost character. I just couldn't remember which one. I don't think I used my leader effect there. I probably should have started using that right away, but that's okay. Okay, they're going to swing, they're going to play out a Pudding, which allows them to get a free leader effect off every turn. So now they know the top card of my deck, and I'm going to take that hit aggressively. I draw the top card. Now they know I have a Kingdu. They know that I have a Kingdu, right? So I'm going to play out the Atmos. Which cards did I reveal? Let me see something real quick. Okay, I revealed the Ezo and the Namule. That was a play mistake. I should have revealed the Kingdu because they already know I have that. So it's not really revealing anything if they already know I have it, right? Either way, we bounce the Pudding off the board. We're gonna use the Squad here to show that card that I just revealed to them from my Atmos effect, the Namule that I put on top, and then I'm going to swing for 6. So again, notice what happened here. I have to break this down and explain it just for some of the newer players out there. My Atmos, okay, let me go even a step further backwards. Purple Katakuri has a when attacking effect to Dawn -1 and look at the top card of my deck. And I don't get to see it, but I'll see it on the next turn, right, when I draw it. So they got to see my Atmos 2K counter, right? Okay, now, or excuse me, not my Atmos, my Kingdu 2K counter. Now, it's my turn. I draw the Kingdu. I play out the Atmos, which requires me to reveal two different Whitebeard Pirates cards, right? So what I want to do there is reveal the card they already know about, the Kingdu, and then the Namule, okay? Because that's a card I want to put on top of my deck anyway. So I'm going to reveal those 2 cards. Okay, so now the only new information he has is Namule. Now, I'm going to use my leader effect to put the Namule. I want to keep the 2K counter in my hand to counter out with, and I'm not using the Namule this turn. I'm going to show my opponent the Namule again with my leader effect, draw the top card of my deck, a card he doesn't know about, and put the Namule there, and then I'm going to be able to use Squad to reveal the Namule one more time, and get I'll be able to move 1 Rested Dawn to a character or leader for the turn. Now, I will say this, Katakuri kind of counters that a little bit, doesn't he? Because now, okay, now he knows what my top card is. So there is something to be said there, but at the same time, I think this is still a pretty fair, pretty even matchup, all things considered, because I can change things around whenever I need to with my life, you know, with my, with the top card of my deck, at least on my turn. Okay, he is going to swing for 6. He's going to return a Dawn because he already played out the Pudding, so it's going to be 7. That ended up being a free effect here, and we are going to save that 5-cost Fire Fist for a 5-cost Parasparrow later in the game. Because he did reveal that with one of the Puddings. That is something I do remember. So I'm going to swing in for 5 here. He's going to use his leader effect, Dawn -1 to go plus 1,000 for the turn, getting out that attack for free. Okay, now I'm going to reveal... so I ended up putting the Ezo on top of my deck, and now no one knows what the top card of my deck is. Well, now we do, because I revealed it with Squad. It's the, what was that, another 2K counter Kingdu, I believe. Very nice. But I was able to cheat out the Ezo with my Portgas D-Ace. Big fan of that interaction, being able to cheat out these other characters, especially like a 3-cost 4K that can draw cards. You know, we will take that. Okay, they're going to play out a 3-cost 5K Parasparrow. Actually, I think they might have got that from a trigger. Excuse me, I think they got the Parasparrow from a trigger, and now they're going to play out the 5-cost 7K Parasparrow for the turn. And yeah, here we go. They're going to swing for 5. I'm going to 2K counter out of that one. They're going to swing for 5 more. Dawn -1 pushes us up to 6. I think I might end up just blocking this because I do need to clear up space on the board for my next turn. I want to play one of these big bodies on the board next turn. He reveals the top card of my deck. It is a Speed Jill. It allows him to use the Parasparrow effect to ramp a Dawn and cycle a card. Very, very strong. Now they're going in for 5 with the Pudding. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going down to 2 life here. That's a little bit scary. But we have a turn lined up here. We're going to swing for 4 into 4. So the Ezo versus the Pudding here. I get to do a top 5 search. I think I probably should just grab a 2K counter in this situation because I already have some massive bodies to play out. I'd rather just keep the 2Ks in my hand here, but I don't remember what I pick. I end up grabbing the Kazuki Odin, which again, I do not think that's the right play there. And then I have to trash a card from my hand with the effect, but that's okay. So 4,000 going into 4,000. He decides to counter out to save that card. I'm okay with that because I will just keep attacking these 5s into 4. You know, a 4 into 4 now, a 5 into 4. He's just letting me have this like that. I will take that every single time, guys. Okay, let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to swing for 5 more into 4. Hey, if he wants to keep doing this, I am okay with that. I am okay with him just giving me all the cards, all the big counters hand, trying to defend a 4K. Now what we're going to do is we are going to use the Fire Fist here, revealing 2 cards from our hand. And then we're going to draw a card and bottom deck that Pero Sparrow. And now we still have more stuff we're going to do here. We're going to put the Kazuki Odin on top of our... we're going to draw a card and put the Kazuki Odin revealed on top of our deck. And attach a Dawn for free with a Squad here. We're swinging 7 into 5. We have 3 Dawn left for a Namiel. This is a beautiful turn for us. Now the way that I did that, my opponent has no idea what cards are on the top of my deck now. He'll have to use his leader effect if he wants to know. Okay, I mean, our board is completely full. We have Namiel, we have some, you know, like a blocker. We have ways to move Dawn around. We have a Searcher. We have all kinds of stuff. They push one of our characters, the 5-cost 6K Ace, into the bottom of our life. We're actually okay with that because, you know, we were down to 2 life. The guy, you know, our opponent was very aggressive early on there, so I'm not exactly upset to have an extra life there at the cost of a character. Now, speaking of that, while we're just sitting here, you know, looking at what's going on, you know, waiting for me to make my next play, I think we need to work Red Rock into the deck. I think Red Rock, maybe 2 or 3 Red Rocks would go a long way in a deck like this, and that was something I felt was really lacking when I was playing. I kept thinking, like, man, if I could just pay 6 and bottom deck this Linlen and follow up with a Speed Jill coming in with Rush, that would just be incredible. But again, this is just the first rendition of the deck. This is just the, you know, the first time we're seeing it here. Okay, so we're going to end up swinging in for 4 here with the Ezo just to do some cycling. And, you know, really, it's a searcher cycler, I guess. It's a weird thing what Ezo does, because it does a top 5 search, lets you draw a card, and then you have to trash a card. So it's like a cycle searcher, or a search cycler. I have no idea. Anyway, they're going to play on 8-cost Katakuri, and again, that Red Rock looks, you know, better and better every time, you know, every match we see that we've seen so far, I think. Or at least, and I don't know where I'm going with that, guys. That Red Rock starts looking a lot better as this is going on, as this video is going on. That's what I should have said. We're going to swing 11 into 5 with double attack. My opponent has to make a very, very big decision here. Does he want to let this attack go through? Because that's 11k with double attack. He's thinking about it. He's like, I can't, man. And it's like, okay, just going to give me the 8k blocker. You love to see that. And that's what that Newgate does. That 9-cost 10k Newgate is a threat, guys. I really like that new card. So now we're going to go ahead and play out the ace here. We set the Speed Jill to the top of our deck first before doing that. Now it's coming in with Rush. We're swinging for 5. He's going to use his leader effect. I should have swung for 6 there. That was a mistake. Well, actually, did I only have 3? I needed all the Dawn. Well, okay, yeah, I should have definitely done that because I could have put 1 Dawn on Speed Jill from Squad and 1 extra Dawn from my turn on the leader to swing 6 and 6 to get around his leader effect. And now we're going to play out the Ezo. There was an argument to take that hit there. Did he? What just happened? Let me see something real quick. Did he take it? He might have taken it, right? We swing for 7. No, he 2K, 1K'd out. There was an argument to take that hit there because we have a 9-cost 10K on the board with double attack. He probably should have just taken that hit. But that's okay. We'll take that, right? I wouldn't consider it a blunder on my opponent's turn. Yeah, because see, they might have thought, like, no, I'm going to get rid of that card because I don't have a blocker. In fact, I'm just going to say this right now. I think they should have dedicated, like, probably 7 Dawn to the 9-cost Linlen and just swing, like, 16 into my 10. Yeah, 12 and a 10 is a 2K, 1K to get out of. I'll let him have the 5K. That's fine. Now it's our turn. I'm going to swing for 11. What does he want to do? Let me pause and talk about what this Charlotte Linlen can do on the board here. This is a 10-cost 12K. On your opponent's attack once per turn, you can Dawn -5 and declare a cost. Reveal 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck. If the revealed card has the same cost as the declared cost, give up to one of your leaders plus 2,000 power for the turn, for the entire turn. So what he could have done here is, okay, I'm going to use my on opponent's attack effect from my leader first to reveal the top card of my opponent's deck so I know what it is. And then on my second effect on opponent's attack, I'll use this Linlen, name the cost that was revealed. And I'll go 7,000 power on my leader for the turn, and then another plus 1,000 for this battle. For my leader's effect, he'd be at 8. He would still need 2K, 2K to get out of that. So that's not easy to get out of. Let's see what happens here. I think they're about to just kind of throw in the towel. Because this is a tough spot to be in, guys. This is a really tough spot to be in. Okay, so again, we're coming in for 11 into 5. So that would take, okay, they take it, double attack. Here we go. In this situation here, I think the answer is to load up 7. Yep, so hear me out, guys. I did have to do things in a very specific way. I think what I needed to do was swing for 8, because that would force the -5 from Charlotte Oven, from the 10 cost 12k plus leader effect for the turn, and then everything else would be on my leader. So 2 Dawn would go to the ace, and then 7 Dawn on my leader would be swing 12 into what would be a 7k body, and he can only get out of the 1 attack from the ace using all the effects we just said, and that would have dropped him all the way down to like 3 Dawn on the following turn, going back up to 5, which is brutal. Okay, good game to my opponent. Now we're going into the last one here. We got a game versus Lucci. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Not a great pool. Excuse me, I did get a searcher. I was going to say not a great pool otherwise, but we got a searcher, and we're going second, so it's really not even that bad. We're going to probably grab the removal here because we already have a Jinbei in hand. So, excuse me, the event removal, we already have a Jinbei. We don't need 2 of those, and here we go. So they're going to swing for 8 here. We're just going to take it, and as long as that Ezo sticks on the board, I can still use my Jozu, which is nice. So we're going to play out the Atmos here. We're going to reveal 2 cards from our hand, and we're going to bounce that card. I think we revealed a 9-cost Newgate and something else with that Atmos, probably the 7-cost, and we're just going to bounce the card out of the way with the Atmos effect, and here we go. They're going to swing for 6. They're going to use a Suru, and they're going to pop my Atmos with a Brook. Okay, not a bad play. We're going to keep attacking in for 5. We're going to poke for 5 the whole entire time. And here we go. I think I'm going to do something here. Yeah, I think I'm going to use my leader effect to probably, okay, reveal the Atmos that he already knows about. Or, excuse me, I don't know if he knew about that or not, but then we're going to play out the ace here, and we're going to push. Hang on a second. Did I have that planned out? I have to see that real quick, guys. Oh, I did have 2 aces in hand, excuse me. I like the idea of playing out the Jozu here, but playing out the ace with an Atmos is actually much harder for my opponent to deal with. 2 bodies will always be harder to deal with than just 1, typically speaking. Okay, they're going to swing for 5. I don't want to go too low here, but I do end up taking that. They're going to play out a Jack. You hate to see it. That's not what we wanted to see at all. But watch this, guys. We've got a turn here where we can establish this 7-cost Kazuki Odin. Okay, let's see if we choose to do it or not. I really hope I choose the right thing here. I'm going to swing for 6. He gives me a 1K, swing for 6 more, takes it. I could have also gone for the Jack there. Pause. We had a few options there. We had a few options because we could have actually gone for the Jack and gone about things that way. I mean, we could have even just loaded everything up and just smashed through the Jack. Okay, that was an option because he 1K countered out of my 6K attack. It would have almost certainly have gone through. But at the same time, I'd rather just establish this Kazuki Odin because this Lucci player cannot remove this card from the board. He can't do it. He just simply can't do it. So here we go. As long as I have cards to trash from my hand, I should say that. All right, let's see what they choose to do here. Again, they're probably reading this card, Kazuki Odin, for the first time, like a lot of people probably did today watching this video, and they're probably thinking, wait a minute, pause, hang on. So if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may instead trash 2 cards from your hand. Most people will probably read that and go, okay, well, I'll get through the effect one time with this Laboon plus Jack, and then the next time I'll get rid of the card. That is not a once per turn effect, at least not the way it's worded on this card. So unless there's some type of translational error, that is not a once per turn effect like the effect is under it. Okay, here we go. So he's going to Laboon, -4, KO my Odin with the Jack's effect. I'm going to trash 2 cards from hand, trashing the Squard and the 5-cost ace. And now he's got 5 Dawn left for the turn. Let's see what he chooses to do here. I think he's going to swing for 6 into my Portgas ace. The 5-cost, giving -1 to something and trying to KO it again. He goes 6 in the face here, giving -1 to the ace, like I was saying. And then what's going to happen? Oh, I used the effect of my Ezo just in case he was about to play out a Lucci. And I cycle a card. I think I countered out. I don't know what just happened there. I think I might have actually taken... Did I take that, guys? that was a little bit reckless. Yeah, we did take the 6K attack. Oh, we didn't have it... Well, I think we did have a 2K, whatever. Anyway, we took the hit, and here we go. They play out a Shigan Finger Pistol. They try to remove my Odin. Does not work. And, yep, get ready for the end of the game here because they end up just quitting. It is over. Because in this situation here, I mean, I'm going for the board for whatever reason, but I actually think I should have gone straight for face. I don't think my opponent could have survived because what I could have done was, okay, swing for 5, swing for 7, and then load everything on my leader. I mean everything except 3 Dawn. Or not on my leader, excuse me, on the Kazuki Odin, on the 7-cost character, smash in, and then pay 3, and then return the ace back to my hand, standing up the Odin, smash in for the rest. That game should have pretty much for sure been over. But at the same time, so say they don't do that. So say they counter out. Say I swing for 5, they counter out with this Brook here, or let's say the Montreal would be more... Actually, Laboon is probably what they'd counter out with, right? Let's say they counter out with the Laboon when I swing for 5 at face. If I swing for 7, they're going to Khalifa plus probably the Brook here. And then, okay, now they still have 2 life, so I can't go for lethal. Okay, no problem. I load 2 Dawn up on my Odin, and I swing 10 into Jack. And if he saves it, I stand the card back up and go back into it. Otherwise, we know it's in their hand, right? It's actually going to get KO'd because he only has a Rebecca and a Montreal left in his hand at that point if he countered out the way we were saying. Okay, no problem. So now that card's gone, and I've only used 2 Dawn, 3 Dawn. I would have only used 3 Dawn for the turn. I would still have 7 Dawn left. I could play out my Ezo, do some searching, do a bunch of different stuff from there. Good stuff. Good game to my opponent. They were in a very, very tough spot. Let me go back to the deck list real quick, and we'll wrap this up. So yeah, this is what we were dealing with. This is what we were running in today's video. I think it has a lot of potential. Some immediate improvements I would like to mess around with. Number one, I almost forgot to talk about this card. I'm glad we're just now mentioning it. The Marco. Where did that Marco go? Not this one. This is a decent idea as well. But this Marco. I was not running this Marco because I don't know if it's exactly what we need to be running in the deck. Tell me if you guys like this over something else in here, because it would have to take the place of something like Speed Jill, Atmos, or maybe the 3-cost Searcher Ezo, but I got some decent utility from this card throughout the games. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think about this Marco. I didn't want to run it because I'm going to be honest, I just don't think it's good enough to run. I would rather have a card that bounces immediately, just bounce that card out of my way, or just comes into play attacking right away. This Jozu definitely has some... It's on the chopping block. This Jozu here is on the chopping block. I think I might want to go -2 of these to go +1 of this Odin for sure, and then maybe +1 Sanji. As far as removal goes, this is a good card, but I don't know. Let me say this. We didn't see any games against like red-green. I think when I was doing my testing, I was definitely struggling into green and purple decks. I think those were the 2 decks I had the most problem with. And the idea is, while this card seems like it would be so good against them, green will just drop down Tashigi, right, with their Smoker, so you can't bottom deck the Tashigi or the Cavendish or whatever they're trying to do. And then against purple, they're going so tall and so wide. Those ended up being a lot of trouble for me when I was doing my testing, if I remember correctly. I think it was, and I think yellow was kind of tough as well. But purple and green were the 2 biggest problems I can remember off the top of my head from what I was doing last night. But I will say this: I think the way to go is probably going to be Red Rock. Red Rock, I think, will be a really good addition to the deck. It's not searchable, unfortunately, because remember, guys, Red Rock is a Straw Hat card, so we can't search it up with anything in here, but I still think it can really help us out. Like when I was talking about in the Purple Katakuri game, at the time in the video where I was just stumbling over my speech, I didn't know how to say what I was trying to say. I think Red Rock would have just really helped out that matchup, but we still ended up winning that matchup. So it's kind of hard to say, right? That's where I'm really not sure on which direction to go, but I do think Red Rock will be a good addition to the list, even as like a 2 of. Like let me go -1. I'll go -1 Fire Fist to go +1 Red Rock. I'll go -1 Jozu to go +1 Red Rock to start. Then I'll remove another Jozu and I'll add in the 7-cost Kazuki Odin. And like I was saying, I would like to go up another Sanji. I think maybe, I don't know if we need 4 of these Ezos, so let me do that first. So this would probably be the very first revisions I would do to the list, is right here, where I go -1 Ezo, -1 of this Fire Fist to go +2 Red Rocks, and then I'd go -2 of the Jozu, the 7-cost Jozu, not the 6-cost one, -2 of the 7-cost Jozu to go +1 Odin, and +1 Sanji. I think I might have messed that up. Whatever the case is, we ended up going up 2 Red Rocks, up a Sanji, and up an Odin. So that makes a lot of sense in my mind. Now going back to the Whitebeard stuff, this is a card we excuse me, this is a card we definitely need to try out at some point. I haven't done it just yet, and I think there's another option as well. There was that I was really considering. I need to know as well about this card. This is a card that I need to know. Is this a 2K counter or not? Because that does affect how many of these I might be running. If it's not a 2K counter, I might drop down 2 of these, and like even if I just drop down 1 for now and go up another Vista, where's that Vista at? I actually really like having that really cheap option for a blocker available. It's really nice having this card available. Big fan of this one. But yeah, if this is not a 2K counter, I don't know if I'm even going to run. I don't know. I'll probably still run it, to be honest, because being able to move that Dawn around was really nice. But yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. This is where I got stuck at doing my testing. The deck list feels pretty strong. Oh, another option. Sorry, there's one other 4-cost option here is this one. If this character were to be KO'd or removed from play by your opponent's effects, you may instead place this character into your trash and draw 1 card. So this will at least replace itself if something happens to it on the field. Or you have this Marco here. This is a 3-cost 5K blocker on KO. Bounce a cost 4 or less to the owner's hand. This is an interesting idea. It's a 3-cost 5K blocker. I do like that a lot. We've got a lot of options now. Like Blue Whitebeard, there's actually a lot of options that we have access to now, and I think a lot of the decisions we make is going to come down to how we want to build the list. I like this idea of running the 5-cost, I'll just call him the Flood Ace for now, where it floods the board, and this 9-cost Sanji as the top end. I'm a big fan of this, and this 7-cost Odin just wrecks the board. He's an 8,000 power character, and they cannot remove him from effects unless you just have no cards in hand to help with that. And who knows, maybe at that point, maybe we go Sanji's Pilaf, as like maybe run a few Sanji's Pilaf in here. Might be some idea of that. Going into, now I will say this, I didn't even think about running the new EB02 or OP11 stuff. So let me type in EB02 real quick to see if there's anything we can add from here. Okay, that's where this Vista was coming from. Not a fan of this card at all. And this new Ace seems like it's much better in Blue-Yellow Ace. I'm just going to say that. I'm not a huge fan of this in the deck. Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. Now, going into OP11, I think there is a few decent cards for us to consider. There was one card I was thinking about. Yeah, this one. I think Luffy could just be a welcome addition to almost any deck, and it could bounce cards out of the way. It's an 8,000 power rusher. This might just end up being a staple card in any blue deck. Now, unfortunately, we cannot run the Nami because it requires your leader to be multicolored, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Not the worst case scenario. We just won't run that. And what else? Gum Gum Jet Culverin. Return up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 4 or less to the owner's deck. Top 5 searcher here for Straw Hat Crew, it looks like. And then we have Gum Gum King Cobra. Up to one of your leader or character cards gain +2. Yeah, I don't think we need this because we already have the 1 cost 4K here. Let me say this. Oh, this is for multicolor leaders anyway. We're not going to be able to run this. And this one I just don't think is as good as the 5-cost one we're running. So yeah, that's about it for now, guys. This is kind of the direction I'm leaning with the list. I think it has potential. I don't know if this is going to be a top-tier list or anything like that, but who knows? Maybe middle of the pack somewhere. You guys try to convince me otherwise in the comment section below. Sometimes I tell y'all what I think and people get really mad at me. But hey, I'm done yapping. Tell me what y'all thought in the comment section below about this leader. I had a lot of fun piloting this. In the future, one more thing I will mention is I do plan on experimenting with some of this other stuff in the future. Like, I do want to try to build a version that takes advantage of the I Am Whitebeard card and then just has a lot of the like 9 and like 10 cost Whitebeard. Where's the 10 cost Whitebeard at? This one that runs this as the top end. We'll try to experiment with that later. All right, I'm done. All right, here's another marker. I say I'm done. I'm not. On K, you may put this character card in your hand. There's some options there. This is some kind of promo card. Maybe snatch this up if you plan on this deck becoming your main when it comes out. Maybe snatch up these promos now if there's any available at a good price. All right, now I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro page going here. Guys, if you're supporting me, guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, just viewing my stuff, using my TCG Player affiliate link, I really appreciate it. It helps me out so much. If you're supporting me through Patreon, PayPal, and donations, thank you so much. The Playmat supporters, YouTube members, Discord community, thank you to everyone who helps me out with this channel and is supporting me in whatever way you can. I really appreciate it. Please do not forget to stop by the stream tonight. We stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. And sometimes the stream runs a little bit over that. But we have a good time. We'll have fun on there. Maybe we'll mess around with Blue Ace. We'll have to see what happens. I don't have anything planned just yet. But we'll probably go over some new cards that have been revealed as well, okay, at the time you're recording this. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Links in the channel description. Until next time, guys. Peace.